your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type to come through with that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these cans tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, why the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life, boo.
Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your nighttime, right time DJ Music, back with another episode of the Chop Shop. You see what we reviewing today there, ladies and gentlemen. The good folks from the Defiant Lawyers. They did a stream. A big shout out to Corey. He sent this to me and he asked me, he said, hey, Mr. Music, what you think about this? I reviewed it. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about that. But before I do, folks, and before I bring on my my guest tonight, I just want to say, just get this out in the open. Listen, whenever you have a problem with someone in particular, that does not mean that you should involve everyone else in your disputes. Now, before I was not monetized on YouTube, so I have a little bit more to protect now. So please, if you do not come here, if you come here expecting, what's the best word to use this? If you come in here to expect drama, this is not the place for it anymore. There's several places on YouTube that you can go to get all the drama that you want. This is not the place for it anymore. Now, for those who did what they did, you thought you were going to disparage me or discourage me from doing what I do. Not going to happen. I'm going to continue to put out this word that I think that's important to some people. Some people may listen to what I have to say. It won't be some people that will be so upset with me as a so-called content creator, because I guess basically that's what I am now, according to YouTube, in this partnership that they allow me to be a part of. So I guess I am a content creator. And having said that, if YouTube can entrust me enough to say, hey, we believe in what you're doing, and if you decide that you want to continue this as a partnership, go right ahead. I'm not going to let anyone come over here and destroy that. I'm not going to allow anyone to come over here and take the credit for what I've built. Now, there's some people that's been instrumental, and one of them I'm going to bring up in a minute. It's been here from day one. It's always been when I go live, either she's up here or she's down in the chat room. Some people have day ones. I've never had a disparaging word from my particular co-host. I've never had an argument or a disagreement. So that says volumes about the person that I entrust up here now. So again, folks, I'll just say this. If you came here for drama, please exit the building, because it's not going to be here. If you came here for conversation or to learn something that you might know, or to tell me something I might know, might not know, by all means. But if you came here to cause me any more anguish, to disparage me, to disrespect my guests, please leave now. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, again, we are going to review the Defiant lawyers. And around the YouTube streets, this word masculinity and protection of black women has been all about, especially with the Dr. Umar situation and him and his daughter, the young lady that got hit over the head with a baton. And of course, in upper echelons of things, there's been some folks that's had a few disparaging words to say about some of our black female leaders. And I guess the folks from the Defiant lawyers is going to point that out. So we're going to review that. But before we review that, ladies and gentlemen, let me take my thing off the screen here. Let me take down my... and just let me welcome to the show there, Shar Willie. How you doing, Shar? Always a pleasure having you sitting up on the front row on, but what's that, left hand, right hand side? you know where everything's at, right? We restocked. You know, we got imported. We got imported cheese and wine now. We can go to, get what you need over there.
Ooh, I like that goat cheese. Thank you.
Right. Goat cheese. We got some of that too.
Yeah, wonderful.
No, and you notice we refurbished. We made the seats a little bit more comfortable. You kind of just sunk down in it.
Oh yeah, real cushy.
Nice little backdrop in the city back there and things like that.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, make yourself comfortable. I don't want to know. I don't know if you've seen the Defiant lawyers or not, or some of the things that I've covered from them. But I'll straight off to ask you, Sean. Do you think that black women, as a black woman, do you think that you ladies, whatever shade you come in, are being attacked, as far as in the media, as far as in the public, or as far as some folks say, like Jasmine Crockett, Vice President Harris, or what he's gonna talk about? What's your take on what's going on in today's climate?
There's definitely a spotlight shined on us. Somewhat when we do well, but if we slip and fall, do something that someone doesn't agree with, here they go, shine the light. Look at her, see there? Look at her hair. See what she said? She shouldn't have did that over there. Look at her.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you mean. It's always the black woman's fault. She can do no wrong. She can't have an opinion, and if she does have an opinion, she's labeled as the angry black woman.
Yeah.
Is that the standard trope?
Yes.
Yeah. But to me, now we travel in the YouTube streets, so this is not only this. We used to say that this is an echo chamber, but it's not an echo chamber anymore, is it? It's out of the public now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we see a lot more of it.
Right. And the disparaging part about it is, sure, we, you and I have been around for at least 40 years, so we come from a different time and era to where it wasn't as prevalent. And I don't want to use the R word, but I have to. the direct idea of because you're black is now seems to be we don't want you around anymore. What you think?
Mm. I'm gonna have to agree with you with that. I
Because
am.
right, because we see it in okay, take like the black 4-star general that summarily got dismissed. Was he not qualified for his job?
Yeah, so the man been in it. He didn't do anything. Just one day somebody wakes up and like, you need to go.
Right, right. Now let's talk about Jasmine Crockett. Is she not qualified?
She's qualified. She reacted to a video what everyone else is doing in nursing home, kids, and everyone else. Look at her.
Huh. And normally the attack is on black women. Let me ask you, the attack is not on their intellect first. It's usually on their appearance. When you agree, would you agree?
Yes, think about what that woman said about her eyelashes. Having a conversation with her and said, "Oh, your eyelashes must be in the way."
Absolutely. Absolutely, and you and I, we've done several shows together. There was a point in time I remember back in 2016 when I said Donald Trump he didn't invent racism, he just woke it up.
Okay, he's trying to make it more alive again.
Okay, so he just poured water. Racism was never dead; it was just dormant until Donald Trump and his cronies made it how do I say fashionable again.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like take an instance. I know you know who Medgar Evers is. We all know him as one of the civil rights leaders, right?
Uh huh.
But there's he's in the national cemetery, right?
Yes.
Trump had him removed.
What? I didn't hear about that one.
Had him removed. Go look up Medgar Evers and see why and seek the reason that Trump and his allies gave to remove him from the roles of the Arlington National Cemetery.
I remember something about some paintings or statues in the White House, but I didn't hear about that. A
No,
body?
a whole body. Hey Zahara, how you doing? How you doing? Great to see you. Great to see you. Great to see you. I didn't know that they did that with Colin Powell too. Wow, I did not know.
What?
I did not know that. But see, let me just let me show this. Sure, I know. Thank you very much for my very first super sticker.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. we moving on up. We the Jeffersons moving on up to the east side, deluxe apartments. The Tuskegee Airmen as well. Anything that has to do with Black history, folks. Trump is
Wow.
anything that has to do with Black history. Trump is summarily removing. It was a Black track star by the name of Tyson Gay. Had him removed because they went through all the different files and anything that identified as the alphabet community, LBGT community, they had him removed. Now, here's the dumb part. Here's the dumb part. Thank you, Zahara. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. Here's the dumb part. Okay. Here's the dumb part, Short. You know the plane that dropped the atomic bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Okay. Uh huh.
It was called the Enola Gay. And Trump's zeal and his cronies' zeal to remove anything that they thought that I would identify as in the alphabet community or in the LBGT community, they removed one of the most historic events. Not that you can remove it from the conscience. It's just the fact that it's been removed from the records. Just because the plane name was Enola Gay. The plane was named after his mother. I think the pilot's name was Tibbet, if I'm not mistaken. So, folks, when they do the letters FAFO mean anything,
Yeah, I've been see a few channels referencing that.
Okay, okay. This is what this is what we voted for, and I'm gonna myself and the Defiant lawyers. He's going to speak directly to black men because that's who we're going to focus on now. I expect that from white supremacists. I expect them to be as nasty and as vile as they can to me. I'm expecting that from the Trump administration. Everything about his administration says no blacks allowed.
Dang. Mm.
Is there any blacks in his cabinet?
Even though I haven't seen it, more than likely not.
No, no. The two blacks that were stumping the hardest for him, Tim Scott and Byron Donalds. Where
Oh
are they?
boy, still tap dancing probably on
Still buck dancing.
on somebody's show.
Right. One is trying to become the governor of Florida, Byron Donalds.
Hmm.
Yeah. Still buck dancing for Trump. So far, where's it gotten? No cabinet post. So you mean to tell me that you could go get the wife of a former of the WWE owner and give her a post before you give uh, congressman?
Yes, I guess so, because he has. Wow.
Who? I didn't know that, Mike. Who is it? I really haven't paid attention to the Trump administration, to be quite honest. So if there is a black in his administration, I'm not aware of it. To be quite, nothing about Trump I follow, not his administration. So I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if there is someone that's of color in Trump's administration. Please let me know that way.
I can watch his back.
Right, watch his back. On top of that, please let me know so I can retract that statement and correct that, because that's what good reporters do. That's what good folks do. To make sure that they correct themselves. That they just don't leave wrong answers out there. But if I can get the answer here, I'll make sure I correct that in the description. But anyway, Charlotte, especially now we see it. Okay, I expect that also from the civilian population. But now we have Scott Turner. That is his name. Okay, folks, I just got informed that the one African American that in the Trump administration, his name is Scott Turner.
He's in housing and urban development because of the
Well,
word urban.
oh, there you have it.
Probably.
Put him over there.
Right.
Put him over where? Don't it say urban? All right. Any
Dang.
more questions? Any more questions? But before we get to just that one, I hate to say the word token, but you're right, Mike. Token. Hate to say it, because I mean, what was the guy's name? Ben. What? He was instead of being in the medical department, they had him doing what?
Dang.
Put him where Uncle Ben was at.
Wow.
But I know we're making light of it, folks. But all seriousness aside, there is, to me, and to a lot of people, and I'm not only me. This lawyer is going to kind of echo my sentiments. There is a definite attack on black women more than ever. It's on the YouTube streets. It's on Twitter. It's on X. Listen, there's actually some channels. Yeah, we got to call them who they are, right, Mike? Some channels over on YouTube. They don't even get, they go far past the dog whistling now. They just flat out use it. Twitter, X, is what they call it. I was on Instagram a couple of days ago, and there was this. I guess it was an old post, but it was a post about a young kid shooting watermelons.
Really?
And the watermelons, guess what color? Guess what face he had painted on it?
Wow. I'll have to guess. I know.
Right. I know.
That's sad.
Right. So again, folks, let's Shar, you want to say anything before we get into this video?
Um, Actually, I didn't mean to post it. I just meant to upload it for you so
Okay.
you can show that.
Well,
Um,
it's on there, so let's take a look at it. I can't see it, but let's go ahead and you can share it.
oh, okay. I thought it was sharing.
Yeah,
Oh, wait a minute. It does
there
say
it is.
it's
There it
sharing.
is. There it is.
Okay. So if you see in the left hand, kind of like the middle, on the left hand side, there's your token right there.
Left hand side on the middle. Oh, I see. It's the one like that song I be playing on my station. Dot dot dot.
Right. There's your
It
dot,
said,
dot, 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 dot right there. Just wanted to share that to
I
everyone.
got a mission for you. Dot 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 dot.
Right. There's Scott right there.
Right. Meanwhile, eating butter biscuits. Scott, 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 Scott.
Go ahead, do your thing.
All right. Well, let's take a look at this video, folks. Big shout out to the Defiant lawyers. I would suggest anyone that has not followed them. Of course, I've used his content before, and I always check him out. Sometimes he's live, and sometimes he's not, but always good content. I'd like to consider him one of the elder statesmen. You know, much respect, but I'll let them do the introductions.
My book, Education and Justice. If you have an African American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. I stand with Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris, and Michelle Obama. I stand with them.
And so do I. I stand with these three brilliant black ladies. Very, without no disrespect, very beautiful black ladies. Three different shades of black. Three different shades. Educated black women. These aren't these run-of-the-mill black women here, folks. No, they're not. These are not run-of-the-mill black women. These are, as in my generation, these are what word am I looking for here? I'm trying to find the best word. These are gems. These are precious jewels, because these ladies had to work 3 times as hard to get to where they're at. Sometimes 4 times as hard, 5 times as hard to get to where they're at.
True.
One of these ladies, Vice President Harris, was in charge of the biggest state in the country. But you hear, especially in the places that we travel in the YouTube streets, how they disrespected her. All because Trump said she wasn't black enough. And some folks in these spheres ran with that. Next lady here, educated. They give Melania Trump more respect than they give this woman. Never been on the cover of anybody's magazine. And when I say magazine, I don't mean magazines of importance. Never been the center spread of a Playboy magazine. Never been accused of any of that. They called this black woman everything from, they said she's an ape, to where she has a tallywhacker. Jasmine Crockett, young, ambitious black woman. What's rare about her? Go and check when the last time there was ever a black woman had a seat in the House of Representatives for the state of Texas. 3 prominent black women, but we got black men in the midst of us that said that these black women destroyed black life. Sure.
I'm confused with that statement. Very confused.
Absolutely, and you know what, Mike? I wish he'd have put the Supreme Court justice up there as well, because she's caught flack too.
Oh yeah. Just even getting the position.
Just to
Didn't
even
they
get into position, right?
didn't they question her for like 40 days
Days,
and 40 nights?
days, right? They questioned everybody from her great anybody who knew her. They questioned, hoping they could
Wow.
find something to say that she was not qualified, or something that she would have to, some kind of dirt that that would cause her some public embarrassment. Squeaky clean, but yet in these spheres that run around with us that we talk about, some of these men echo those same sentiments about Judge Jackson, about Jasmine Crockett, about this former First Lady, and the former Vice President of the United States. Let's go.
I proudly stand with them. Now, we know black women and girls have always endured disrespect in American society. It's nothing new. But in recent years, the verbal attacks, the online abuse, and the real world threats have increased dramatically.
And I'm glad he hit that. The online abuse. Have you not seen it, Shore?
Not only I've seen it recently. Something
Recently.
about Miss Obama having a talk show with her brother that's disrespectful
That's
to her husband.
how is that disrespectful?
I have no idea.
How is that disrespectful? Huh? Could anybody come up with a valid answer if Michelle Obama decided to have a podcast and talk about whatever she wanted to? How is it being disrespectful to the former president of the United States? Why don't y'all grade the first lady right now, Melania Trump, on the same curve as y'all grade Michelle Obama? Wonder why that's not. Wonder why they don't do that, Sean.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Black women face what could be called a trifecta of dishonor, including racism, sexism, classism. And if they dare speak up, or if they are successful, or if they fight back, they're attacked even worse. And what's extremely disappointing is this is not just coming from white conservatives, MAGA, white supremacists. Some black men and even women also tear down black women. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. It doesn't matter if black women are in politics, business, law, sports, some other kind of entertainment. Black women get attacked way more than white women.
Absolutely. And I'll take you back to another example. We can go out of politics for a minute. We can go to sports. The loose niggas was in an uproar when Simone Biles stepped away and she said she was having mental problems. You remember that, Shaw?
Yeah. And someone else, isn't the young lady Richardson, the track runner, I think?
Yeah, and Sha'Carri Richardson.
Hmm.
Because it was messing with their head a little bit. So they wanted to step back. They felt that they wasn't in top form to compete. Why was they so mad at that?
I don't know. I think maybe because you represent one thing, and if you don't do that, then we can't talk about you. So now we're just no, we can't talk about you being strong and all that kind of stuff. So now we're gonna talk about you that you're weak. As long as we talk about you, it's sickening.
What gets me about them folks is I hear them all the time saying, sure, we don't need black women, but that's all they talk about in one shape, form, or fashion. If you don't need black women, if you don't like black women, why would you go over to where there's black women's spaces at? Why would Michelle Obama even be in your mouth? It's all kind of other stuff the spheres can talk about.
But this is profitable.
It is profitable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's profitable.
It is, isn't it?
What else would you talk about? Men? Would you have a lot of black men hanging around talking about other black men?
No,
How would that work?
I don't know. I can only guess how that would work out. If you want to find out, though, there's a couple channels around here you can find out because they're up 24/7 talking to each other. Let's continue here. Oh, did I start over? No, I did. Okay.
Men and even women also tear down black women.
Yep.
So that's what I want to talk about in this video. It doesn't matter if black women are in politics, business, law, sports, some other kind of entertainment. Black women get attacked way more than white women. Okay? Now, take, for example, Michelle Obama. She has been completely disrespected. Haters have called her a man and mocked her looks. Folks over at Fox News compared her to an ape, which is
outrageous. I want y'all to understand something. Fox News is seen by one of the most watched networks in the world. So imagine a constant barrage of these folks calling this woman a man or an ape. Think about that for a minute, folks. Think about who's the real idiots, and I hate to use the word, but who's the real idiots to believe that this woman and all of her folks and everybody that knows her had to come up with this giant conspiracy. Not only her mama, not only her daddy, her grandparents, all the folks that she went to school with, from grade school on up, all the folks in college, all the folks that she might jobs that she might have had that know that she's a woman, all of them had to join this big conspiracy to prove that this is not a woman right here. Not only that, the hospital to where she had her children at had to also join this conspiracy. No, we didn't help her deliver nothing. So who are the idiots to believe that this woman in the middle is a man? The same folks that would believe that if you lay a little black kid on the porch or the floor or anywhere and put your feet up on them, it'll soak the rheumatism out your body. Those same kind of people. A lot of them is over there on Fox News. Sure.
I think whatever would be true of any of those rumors is disrespectful to her husband.
Very.
No one discussed that at all. You're just going to talk about a man's wife comfortably.
Them's fighting words, ain't it?
Yeah.
That'll get you busted upside the head real quick.
Yeah.
And that's you're right about that. This particular woman in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, recently divorced. We know that she had an affair on her husband. We know this for a fact. Lauren Boebert, we know that she had an affair on her husband. We know that her kid got locked up a couple times. We know that she was in a theater in a premiere of Beetlejuice with a pregnant woman behind her vaping, grabbing on her date's tallywhacker while he grabbing up the hoo-haws. Not a word from the sphere on that.
I haven't heard those reports. That sounds like something to report.
Yeah, I wonder why they haven't talked about it though, sure. Right. Exactly. It's a hard. You can't win for losing. What do y'all's black women got to do? The mere fact that I'm up here cheering y'all on or in defense of y'all, somebody gonna be mad tonight. You know what I mean? Somebody gonna say I'm a simp.
Yeah.
But let's continue.
Right racism. I mean, it is just cold racism. White supremacists attacked her for even promoting healthy eating, something that is good for everyone.
Can you imagine that?
And we all witnessed the hate Kamala Harris experienced running for.
We sure did. We sure did. But could you imagine that, Short? They got mad at Michelle Obama for wanting all kids to eat healthy at school. Instead of serving them kids French fries and hamburgers, let's put some vegetables on their plate. And they got mad at that. And then after Obama got out of office, guess what they did?
What?
Stole the idea. We need our kids to eat healthy. Oh, really?
Where have I heard that from?
Where have I, right, I took the words out of my mouth. Where have I heard that before? But the level, the amount, the level of disrespect that was bestowed on the former Vice President Harris from folks intentionally not saying her name correctly, intentionally saying that she locked black men up, intentionally saying that somebody coming out the woodwork saying that she didn't help them in their time of need. He's saying that she was releasing criminals, that she only married her husband because he was that she slept with Willie Brown. All of that misinformation. It couldn't have been that she was just qualified for the job. Y'all couldn't settle for that, huh?
Wow.
The presidency. I mean, right-wing media relentlessly mocked her. They accused her of being incompetent despite the fact that she had been a successful former U.S. senator and the attorney general of the largest state. I mean, they called her racial slurs, and Trump questioned her blackness. Said she had just turned black. Even Janet Jackson questioned her blackness. And most recently,
yeah, I'm kind of upset with you on that, Janet. Coming from the Jackson family, you should know better than that. But let me ask you something, Sean. How do you turn black overnight?
You actually can. You just need put a bottle of hot sauce in your purse. So, you know,
That's
you
it.
can do that.
That's the qualifications. Just
Yeah.
put hot bottle of hot sauce, and
Yep.
if you're driving, put your car on, put some dubs on, play a little bit of music,
Well, turn your music up a little bit.
loud, yeah,
There you go.
turned up loud. But the only way I know how, other than that, is to go and douse myself with paint. But that won't work for me because, damn it, all I'll do is get darker.
Jasmine Crockett has faced similar attacks. I mean, she is really going through with these attacks. And that's because she's one of the strongest voices pushing back against Trump. So she receives many death threats, which now require she has bodyguards.
Imagine that. A sitting member of Congress. I didn't know that.
Me neither.
A sitting with two men? Damn.
Wow.
Sitting in Congress right now, huh? See? Where y'all at, Sphere? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Why aren't y'all talking about these good white women that's sitting in Congress? Why aren't y'all talking about them good white women? Why aren't y'all talking about these family values that y'all want to throw at these so-called underachieving black women. But you got two prime examples right there in Congress right now that you could talk about every day, because every day they doing something stupid. Now, there's another gentleman I watch, folks. I wanted to grab his clip, but I don't want to take up too much of y'all times. But there's a dude named former Marine by the name of Jesse Dollemore. I don't know if you folks are familiar with him, but he's been doing something on about this very subject here. And I would suggest you folks, if you had some time a little bit later on when you're perusing the YouTube streets, go check out the Jesse Dollemore channel. He drops bombs. That's all I'll say about it. Yeah, he's one of the white brethren, but he drops bombs, folks, especially on this subject right here.
I mean, these folks are attacking her online. They're attacking her in Congress. They're calling her everything from ghetto to incompetent to unethical. They attack her appearance. And again, the sad and perplexing truth is not all these attacks come from white people. No, there are black men and even black women who are joining in this.
Yes, indeed. Because I don't mind mentioning a name or two, but Michi X went in on Vice President Harris. Am I wrong, Shaw?
You're not.
She went in on her. According to Michi X, the former vice president was damn near the Antichrist. No mention about these two ladies here now. Every once in a while, she would talk about MGT and Lauren Boebert, but it would be short-lived. But she had everything nasty to say about the former vice president. Everything nasty. Again, for those of you who follow Michi X, hey, do what you do over there. But again, you got to call it out. It is what it is. It's just what he says. Even black women tried to tear these three women down. And it's still going on right now. Still going on.
Disrespect. So why? I mean, that's the only thing that comes to mind. Why? Why do some black men and women attack black women like Jasmine Crockett while defending a white supremacist like Trump and a white supremacy movement like MAGA? This is bewildering because, let's keep it real, Trump has done nothing for black people. Nothing. No tangibles, no reparations, nothing. Yet some black men seem to worship the ground he walks on while tearing down black women who are fighting him in his policies. Again, why?
No, right. I really would like that answer. I'm going to have to go back to something that Zahara put up there earlier. Melanated Klansmen. That's the only difference, folks. In the Klansmen that I know that's around and them. Color. Clayton Bixby's. White power. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember Clayton Bixby? What's up there, Black Hawk? How you living, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you. But again, I find it baffling. And you know, the old adage is going to go, Shaw, you know what I'm going to say. But you got a black mom and you got a black, some of y'all got black sisters. Some of y'all got black nieces. Some of y'all got black aunties.
I've heard that, but that was like one of the first things they used to say about Tommy Sotomayor, and then you find out he didn't care for them. So
he did not.
Sense then.
Right. He does not. And that's the common thread amongst the Spear guys, ain't it? They don't like their mama. A lot of them. They don't like their mamas. They don't get along with their sisters. They don't get along with their aunties. And this breeding ground that they call YouTube sometimes gives them a place to vent their frustrations. Because we're not talking about teenagers, folks. We're not talking about every once in a while we might get somebody that's sprinkled in their 20s. But we're talking about men that are in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s. There was an older guy named Baba Rashan. He hated Cynthia G. You remember him, Shaw?
Uh-huh.
He hated Nyla. Went out of his way to talk mess about him. All because of one thing Cynthia G said, and we all know what that was. If you call yourself a black man, you had to know one of two things. Cynthia G was either trolling or she was speaking directly to somebody. But let's continue.
Well, here's the answer. My question was proverbial. I know the answer. The answer is some black men have been brainwashed. They brought into the red pill manosphere, which preaches black women are loud and obnoxious and that they're the enemies. They've also brought into MAGA's propaganda that Trump is good for black men because his policies will help them get economic benefits. They've brought into the historic, the specific, that unique hatred of black women that's rooted in white supremacy that goes back to the beginning of America. Like the time when white disc jockey, you may remember this man, Don Imus, he called some black female basketball players nappy-headed hoes.
And got fired immediately. Now, all they got to do is say, "What? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that," and they still keep their job. Am I wrong, Shaw?
You're not wrong.
Hmm?
You're not wrong.
Do you remember this Don Imus character right here?
It's been a while, but I remember.
Yeah, he was. For those of you who don't know, he was one of the first. And I'll give credit where credit's due. He had a popular talk show. He's probably one of the first, like Rush Limbaugh, that have these what we call now podcasts. And he was pretty good at it. And he was covering sports. And one day, he decided to let his cowboy hat and his belt buckle get too tight or get too loose and comfortable. And he said, "Look at them nappy-headed hoes." The networks went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can take you a little farther back. There was another sports announcer called Jimmy the Greek. I don't know if you remember him, Short.
I heard that name before.
Yeah, Jimmy the Greek said to say he called some football players monkeys.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But he lost his job immediately. Now, all they got to do is give an apology, and that's it. I'm sorry. I really wasn't being racist. Yes, you were. Someone asked who Michi X was. Shaw, you know Michi X a little bit better than I do. So why don't you give our folks a little brief overview of Michi X, if you don't mind.
Yeah, she's for the black community, but she's only way I can describe it, and I know that you would understand this language, is she's blackety black when it comes down to the community, like all black. Yeah, I mean, you understand that when I say it. Some people are for the black community, but some are really for the black community. If it ain't black, I don't want it.
Right.
That type of
right.
black. All or nothing.
Yeah, one of those. Right. Mm-hmm. It's all or nothing, and because of, I guess, to me, who she was married to, and some of the rumors that followed her out into her political life, Michi X went on the side of disparaging. Is that fair, Sure?
In some aspect, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I just pick and choose in between what it is that I stand for. I love her, if you want to call it conspiracy theory, but some things I like her line of thinking. I'm like, I was thinking that. Oh, I could see that. Yeah. Government is doing that too. So yeah, I pick and choose what I like and spit out the bone.
Absolutely, because when we was covering migrant, as they call it, crisis, the Biden, what they call it, the Biden migrant crisis.
Uh-huh.
She had a lot. She had a lot to say about that, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
She had some insight on a lot of
Yeah,
things.
she absolutely did. So
Mm-hmm.
again, folks, I'm not disparaging her except on this particular point, and that's the same thing. I don't disparage the Queen Maker, although some folks dislike her completely. I don't dislike her content. I don't dislike her. But what I did dislike, and I pointed out, is how she turned on Sandra Bland. So you got to call it out where it's at, folks, whether it's woman or man, but you can do it respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to do here. Respectfully, Michi X, I think you were wrong in your approach to Vice President Harris. Respectfully. But let's continue here.
Unfortunately, MAGA is exploiting and weaponizing this divide between some black men and some black women. And I keep emphasizing some, because most black men do not. They do not, fortunately, they do not demonize black female politicians to support Trump. Most don't do it. It's a few. And if we don't fix this, we will be politically powerless, because MAGA has mastered how to magnify this divide. As when Trump said that Kamala just turned black, that was intended to divide the African American community.
And I think it succeeded. Don't you think so, Shar?
Yes.
I think it succeeded, because as soon as Trump said that, there was stream after stream after stream about that particular statement that Trump said. She wasn't black. That she turned black. That just give everybody the green light. Well, Trump said it, so it must be true. Don't understand the sycophants, folks. Even so much so, he even tried to fake going to work at McDonald's, because Vice President Harris said she worked at McDonald's. Let's go.
And it worked. Now, one of the excuses some black men use to denigrate black women is they claim that black women are doing so much better than black men. And yes, admittedly, some individual black women are doing very well, and I celebrate them. Okay, I'm a girl dad. I celebrate successful black women. But overall, black women still struggle big time. And I want to share some data with you that proves it, so we can dispel this myth and hopefully try to eliminate or lessen this resentment, among black men and women, some of them. All right, take economic inequality. Black women earn only 64 cents of every dollar earned by white men.
Did y'all hear that? 64 cents of every dollar that a white man earns. 64 cents. I guess that's one thing the manosphere got wrong, huh? I guess that's one thing the red pill community got wrong, huh? Let's see what else they got wrong.
Black women face higher unemployment rates than both white women and black men, even when equally qualified. Let me read that again. Black women face higher unemployment rates than both white women and black men, even when equally qualified. Black women are 3 times likely to die from pregnancy. 3 times. They are less likely to be believed by doctors when they report their pain, leading to worse health outcomes.
And I hate to bring this up, but we just had a recent within the last 3-4 months of a young lady that met an untimely demise because she could not have a procedure done.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything he said wrong so far? Anything that he said so far can be disputed. This is a lawyer. I want y'all to understand that this is not coming from me. So y'all gonna tell me that this man don't do his research? But isn't that what they say? Show your research. Sure, isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell this man that.
Black women have high rates of heart disease, hypertension, and diabetes, all linked to systemic stress and inadequate health care access. You see, this is a myth that black women are doing, they're on top of the world, and therefore there's some reason for black men to be resentful or envious or so on. And again, this is just some black men.
Like that old myth that the black women put the black man out the house.
Well,
how long we been hearing that, Shaw? How long we been hearing that?
oh, I've been hearing that for a while. I just don't understand why those women would do that. I don't get it. I really want to know.
Me either.
Wouldn't have been me.
Yeah.
Black girls are suspended 6 times more than white girls, often for subjective offenses like attitude or disrespect. And this is one of the main reasons why we got to stop this. Because this says to white America, you can disrespect not only black women, but our girls, our children. Black girls are less likely to be encouraged for STEM careers despite excelling in math and science. Black girls make up 16% of female students, but account for 43% of school arrest. So what are we talking about here?
Y'all hear that? 16% of the school population, but make up 43%, almost half of the school arrest. He's not talking about in one state. He's talking about across the country. Sure?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, ain't it? That's crazy, ain't it?
That's really wild. That's some big numbers.
Mm-hmm. Hey, ABT, how you doing? Always a pleasure. Have you sitting up in the front row? This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Some of this I didn't know.
What are we talking about? Black women who speak out are labeled angry, aggressive, or difficult, which discourages them from advocating for themselves and for others. In fact, it's this stereotype, the one that I just mentioned, that is often applied to Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris, and Michelle Obama, and other strong-minded black women. I mean, if you grew up in the black community, you know that the black community is filled with strong black women.
What?
Uh-oh.
Big Mama. You going to Big Mama's house? Y'all know when you go to Big Mama's house, y'all know what's going to happen if you get out of order over there. It's always, I grew up around strong black women. So if that's a curse, so be it. My mother was a strong black woman. She made sure that we stayed in them books. If we had a question, I'm not going to go to the encyclopedias. That's what the hell I bought them for. My aunt was an educator. She stayed in the school system for years. I got a couple aunts that's educators.
Mm.
I grew up with, I think, about 8 aunts. 8 strong-minded black Southern aunts. They were all like another mother to me. Okay, they shaped my thinking. They shaped my life. Strong black women who oftentimes had to do everything. Go out and get the food, come home and cook it, wash up the kids, wash up the clothes, and everything.
There was a commercial back in the day for a perfume or something like that. It was called Ajuli, some French name. Hey there, Corey. How you doing, good brother? Good to see you. It's called Ajuli. You remember the commercial? I could bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan. That was written by a black woman.
Really? Oh, they're going to get rid of that song now. Oh, boy.
I shouldn't have said that, huh?
They're like, oh, boy, they're going to erase that now. I didn't know. Okay.
So exactly, that's what she was talking about. And it's whole true to the fact. Listen, my pops was in the military, so my mom's had to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, she had to go to work. She had to come make sure the kids were off to school. If one of us got sick in school, she had to take off her job to come pick us up. My pops was away a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt's the same thing, you know. When of course when you're out of school, you had the neighborhood lady that babysitted everybody. Strong black women in my life, like this man had. But these days, if you listen to the YouTube streets, that's the worst thing to have around you. Sure, come on.
You know, there are some states that have assistance for daycare while you work. So the women may have children and they may not have a person to watch, but they have assistance for daycare. But even that seems to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's always something. They have children, they're doing the right thing to take care of the children by going to work. That's an issue.
Yeah.
You just can't win for losing.
Right. Like I always say, especially when they start hopping about what them single mamas, or I tell them like this: for every single mama, there's a single daddy. What you talking about? Am I wrong?
Yeah, he's somewhere.
Okay, he's somewhere. Okay. Some might not be of this earth anymore, but
He's somewhere.
he's somewhere.
Thing else. We've all seen it. So this data disproves this myth that black women are sitting on top of the world and black men are at their feet. And the biggest proof of that is the fact that Kamala Harris lost the presidency, although she was much, much more qualified than Trump.
Much more qualified.
Trump thanked black people for voting him in because
Thank
over
y'all.
2 million blacks voted for Trump, which gave him the victory. All right?
Y'all hear that? Pretty much. I know we blame the Latinos, and I know we blame some of the white women, and I know we blame some of the white men. But we, as a collective, those 200 million, a lot of them were from the age of 35 to 45. Men. Those aren't disputed. Those facts can't be disputed, folks. Those facts cannot be disputed. So just so you understand, for the folks that didn't hear in the back, let me play it again.
Times had to do everything. Go out and get the food, come home and cook it, wash up the kids, wash up the clothes, and everything else. We've all seen it. So this data disproves this myth that black women are sitting on top of the world and black men are at their feet. And the biggest proof of that is the fact that Kamala Harris lost the presidency, although she was much, much more qualified than Trump. Trump thanked black people for voting him in because over 2 million blacks voted for Trump, which gave him the victory.
Over 2 million blacks voted for Trump, which gave him the victory. Does anybody want to go over to the Defiant lawyer's office and argue that point with him? Not to mention no names. Would anybody like to go and challenge this guy? He's on he has a live stream, and I'm sure if you type that in the chat room, he might let you come up and embarrass you. So we sit around blaming white folks and Latino men and white women, but we got to share some of that blame too. Sure.
Well, glad I wasn't part of that.
Mm-hmm. I know I wasn't part of that. You're not going to get me with that. No, it wasn't me. I'll tell you that right now. It wasn't me. Let's go.
All right. So we just got to do better with black women. We got to do better. Because our support for Trump and rejection of Kamala will cause all of us now to pay a price. And if we can see our way through the next 4 years, we can't make this mistake again. In fact, in 2026, we can help correct this. But we got to deal with this seemingly divide.
Yes, that's 2026 coming up, folks. Those are the midterms. Those will decide who runs the House or the Senate. Right now, the Republicans have a lock. And one thing I want to say to the Democrats, y'all need to grow a set of balls. I'm sorry, but y'all Democrats, y'all need to grow a set of balls. Chuck Schumer, you just gave the Republicans carte blanche to fuck us some more. Excuse my French. Go and see what Chuck Schumer did. Go and see that continuing resolution that he just signed over in favor of the Republican Party. The fuck? Jasmine Crockett let him have it. As well she should have. Where the rest of y'all at? If there's no checks and balances, is the last vestiges of this so-called protection of democracy, or y'all just going to let the Republicans finish it off without a fight?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Continue on.
Between some black men and some black women. So, yeah, we're all going to have to deal with this because, I mean, it's only been 2 months of Trump's new administration, and he's already gutted DEI, which closes doors for blacks. He's using that affirmative action case that the court handed down a couple of years ago to remove pathways for black students and black workers. And his allies are constantly enacting new voter suppression laws targeting black voters. And the far-right judges he appointed in his first term and will definitely get the opportunity to appoint more in this term are rolling back protections from the civil rights movement, like the Civil Rights Act of 64 or the Voting Rights Act of 65, the Fair Housing Act of 68. They're coming for all of that. They're coming for every bit of that. We are the generation that could lose those.
That's right, folks. This is the generation that could lose all everything that those generations prior worked for. And I'm not talking about just the civil rights movement. I'm talking all the way back to Jim Crow. We could lose all of those. Yeah, it is astonishing, isn't it, ABT? 2 million of us. 13% of the population. 2 million is a lot, isn't it? 13-14% of the population. That's a lot of black folks that voted for Trump. Mostly young black men, age of 35 to 45.
Those civil rights protections. What a distinction that is. Trump has already cut many black federal jobs and is throwing families just in a tailspin. Because whatever severance package they got is probably not going to be enough. It's not going to last very long. He's also cutting social safety nets like Medicaid, which will harm some of the 13 million black women and children who are Medicaid recipients. 13 million. That is almost 1/3 of all black people. In other words, you line up 3 people on Medicaid, one of them will be black. One of them out of 3 will be black. That's a lot. That means cuts to Medicaid will disproportionately impact who? Black women and children.
Who? Black women and black children.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those guys that are in your 40s and in your 50s, and your parents are still here, those cuts that he's talking about will affect your parents as well. Especially those that you're in your 60s and still have the good fortune of having your parents. It's going to affect them too. Medicaid, Medicare. They're slashing everything. It's the scratch and dent sale, folks, in the White House. I don't know, ABT, but I'll definitely find out that is That is an interesting question, but I don't know that answer, and I don't want to guess at it, but I will definitely find out. And I'll give you when I find the answer, I'll drop it in the comment section for you.
And there are some elders on Medicaid, but most elders are on Medicare. Trump also want to privatize the U.S. Postal Service, which is a major employer of black workers.
What? There's work at
and
the
he's
post
already
office.
closed civil rights offices in various federal agencies, including the EPA, as well as the Department of Education. So all I'm trying to say here is, you black Trump voters, we warned you, but you disregarded our warnings and you played the fool. And now that is affecting the country and especially us black people. You turn your back on Kamala. You turn your back on African Americans, generally the black community, who voted overwhelmingly for Kamala. Consequently, all of America is suffering, but especially black Americans, especially us. So I have two questions. One, when are you black MAGA supporters going to wake up? When are you going to wake up out of your sleep? When are you going to shake?
I got to pause that because in my mind, I didn't read it that way. Who read it that way, folks? Who read it the same way I'm thinking? I'm not going to say it, but who read it that way? When are you black going to wake up?
Oh, we.
Okay.
Off this days. I hope it's sooner rather than later. Because, again, 2026 is coming up. And we need to flip Congress. And we can. When over 17 million or around 17 million blacks did not vote, although they're eligible to vote.
Okay, let's couple those numbers there, Shar. 17 million black folks didn't vote. And add that to the 2 million. The 2 million, no worries there, ABT. The 2 million that voted for Trump.
Okay.
Now, folks might argue with me, but who really put Trump in office?
Okay. I see where you're going with that.
Right. Complacency is right. The 2 million and 17 million, that's what? Okay. All right. We make up 13% of the population. So you throw that 19 million of us that either didn't or did vote for Trump or didn't vote at all. Well, we got to say, well, damn it, we really can't blame the Latino population, can we? we got to take a little bit of that credit for ourselves. Those black MAGA voters. That I'm gonna go ahead and say it this time. That fuck around and finding out. Anything, sir? For push this beautiful bean footage.
Go ahead and continue.
My second question is, how do the rest of us fix this mess that we're in? How do we fix this? Well,
before he answers that, one of the answers I'll have for you there, good doctor, is to have streams like mine and others that combat this misinformation that black women are doing these different things, that black women are this or black women are that, especially to our educated black women, because to be quite honest with you, they're holding it down. They're on the front lines right now. During the pandemic, black women were on the front lines. The very first person to get the, as they call it, the jab was who?
A black woman.
Okay. Now, and this is another thing for all these black men that hate these black women so much. When did you start hating them? Was it at 15, at 16? Or was it after you got put out, as you say? When did you start hating them? Because from 1 to at least 10 or 11, if it wasn't for a black woman, your black ass wouldn't have ate. Is that an argument somebody can give me? Even some of the worstest of black women still fed you black asses. Am I wrong?
That sounds right.
Okay. I'm just saying. So what y'all gonna do to fix this mess? I heard someone said if you present the research to me and present it to me the right way, I'll change my stance. Well, why you ain't visited the Defiant lawyers yet? You could have been changed your stance. You know who I'm talking to. I'm getting like Big J a little bit, trying to be inclandestined, short.
I see. Oh, wow. Check you out.
Visit our website, lljp.org. Go to the Advanced 2026 page, and you'll see that this is fixable. But we got to get to work now. Now, regarding the attacks on black women, here are some suggestions to deal with that. Number one, call out the attacks on black women. Call them out. When you hear that, don't entertain that. Don't laugh at that. Don't let that go unchecked. Speak out against that. Think about your daughter. Think about your granddaughter. Think about your nieces. Step two, protect and uplift black women. They deserve our help. Our sisters deserve our help. Let's unite. Let's come together. Protect and uplift black women. Listen, you men especially. That is the basic responsibility of any men from any community, to protect the women and children in their community. And that applies oftentimes to...
Anybody want to argue with that? You guys always holler about y'all leaders. Well, this is what leaders do. Exactly what he said. A leader protects the women and the children. A leader protects the vulnerable without question, without favor, without compromise, without malice. But in these YouTube streets, y'all would like to call yourself leaders, but then you'll sit in these streams for hours and hours and hours. I was listening to a stream the other night, not because I wanted to, because I had to how 8 black men was on a panel disparaging Jasmine Crockett. 8 grown black men at 10, 11 o'clock at night, but they say they're leaders in their community. You ever known a leader to do that, Short?
No.
Thoughts?
Women and children, you don't even know if you see somebody bothering them. It certainly means that we don't join in assaulting them and attacking them verbally and so on. 4, white supremacy. And step 3, stop defending white supremacy. Stop defending white supremacy. And number 4, we got to end this black gender war.
Oof.
We got to end it. Brothers, our black women deserve better. They are not our enemies. They are not, someone that we should be attacking and hating. Instead, they are our partners, our mothers, our sisters, our nieces, our aunts, our grandmothers, our daughters. We must defend them.
At all
we got to
costs.
stand with them. We got to protect them. Because if we don't, then who will? Who will? All right, I'm Reverend Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you for watching this video. And remember, stay woke.
Stay woke. And very appreciate that, Reverend Corbett. Again, folks, I would just suggest everyone go over to the Defiant Lawyers and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you share his live streams. I was on one the other night, and he was quite informative. I think there's one more that I will review on him, and maybe this weekend, or if not, if I have a chance to, as early as Monday. But I like the work that he puts out, and just like the good doctor said, we got to This is us. We can't go around repeating the barbs of white supremacists. This is not my line, but white supremacy is the only religion that's not considered a religion. And some of you sycophants think this is a religion, black and white. Just like Zahara said, we got some folks out here that, they are who they are. Melanated Klansmen. There's no way around it. And this is a good point right here, Corey. That's why I left it up. A lot of times you hear these guys saying, "Well, you don't, your word don't make sense because you don't cam up." Well, the good reverend is right there in front of you.
Mhm.
Can you argue that point? He's right there in front of you. How come? My question is, sure, why are folks so quick to challenge me? And basically, some of the same things I say, it just comes from a person. And no, I'm not disrespecting myself when I say this, but a man that's more educated than me. Could I possibly be that far off in some of the things I say? Experience is a better teacher than any book, don't you think? Sometimes.
It is sometimes. Hmm.
So when you tell these folks, you guys are yeah. I pity the fool right now. I wouldn't want to be in Dr. Umar's shoes right now. I really wouldn't. I would not. But when you tell these guys, listen, I remember one time that someone asked me if I saw somebody beating up on a black woman and I didn't know her, what would I do? I would go help. What you mean? You a damn fool, then? Huh? Well, what about if that was your wife? And your wife came home and said, some strange man, I don't know who he was, but he saved me from getting my ass beat. Would I be a damn fool then?
You'd be a hero.
Okay. And for all you folks that say women are beneath us, let me ask you this. If you needed blood and the only match you had was a woman, would you refuse it? I think not. I think not. But anyway, sure, we're going to, that's about all I had for that. Like I said, I try to keep it at sometimes 2 hours or right at an hour and a half. So we're getting close to an hour and a half here, hour and 22 minutes of being on the air. Again, folks, the channel is now monetized, so you won't see a whole lot of drama over here. If you're coming over here for drama, this ain't the place. This ain't the place for it. Now we'll start having open panels again, but some of you are around for the events that happen, so I got to be more careful about what I do and how I do and why I do. I didn't set out to be monetized, but I guess slow wins the race. You keep at it, and eventually something good will happen. So even though something bad happened, something good came out of it. That's how I see it. So. That's sure anything you wanna hit us with before we get up out of here?
Well, thank you for the stream. I learned some new things today. I saw one urban and housing person.
Right.
Learned that, and learned about some things that were moved, including the body. I mean, wow. So thank you for all of that.
Right, no problem. Because I didn't know that either. I didn't follow the Trump administration like that, so I didn't know they had one of us in there. Yeah, I use that term loosely. Okay. But again, I want to thank all you folks for coming out. ABT. We're definitely going to get on. We're going to talk about Dr. Umar, but Zahara, thank you very much. Corey, thank you very much for stopping in. Who else? Mike Spearman, thank you so very much. Who else we had up off in here? Of course, my co-host Shar, Blackhawk. Always a pleasure seeing you, good brother. Who else we had in here? I think we're back to normal, Shar, and I'm glad of that. I really am. I'm one of the intimate setting kind of guys. I don't like big crowd.
I hear you.
Because they're shooting. They're shooting.
I get you.
But things are back to normal there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll probably be live again, if not this weekend, definitely Monday or next Wednesday. Till then, let me just say just one more thing. Listen, it's the level that you folks have to go through sometime. Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? What did you think what you were going to accomplish? What was your total? What was the goal for it? Why did you do what you do? You don't have to answer me. Ask yourself that. Why did you do what you did? Why would you continue to do it to other people? Hey there, Cyber. I'm about to close it up here, but thank you very much for dropping on through. But why would you do the things that you do? Why would you folks go around to different streams after streams after stream? And I'm just generalizing this because it's just not with me. It's just with other folks that I've noticed. You follow around other people from stream after stream after stream just to have an argument with them. That's got to be that's a health risk, folks. If you stay mad all the time, that's not good. That's not good. It isn't. And that's medically proven. If you're always in disarray, wouldn't you agree, Shaw?
I agree.
All right. All right. With that, then, ladies and gentlemen, again, we'll see you. I might come back on a little bit later on this evening and play some tunes, some relaxing music over there. You see how that works. And again, any final last words before I click this end stream button here, Shaw?
Good night, folks.
All right. Like I say on my radio show, folks, the grace of day costs you absolutely nothing, folks. And absolutely nothing. Try it sometime. All right. We out here.